I've never seen it.
People are unwell.
People are
unwell.
Which is a good transition into Suits.
Yes.
I didn't even tell you what show that this was going to be today.
Big surprise.
Oh, great. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
We've never actually done Suits on here. I'm not sure if it's ever
Excellent.
really come up in any capacity.
Well, most people have seen this show. I have not.
This show was so huge for 7 weeks once, years after it came out.
Yeah, literally. And even when it was out, it was a popular show.
Was it on Showtime?
USA Network.
USA
A
Network.
little network called USA.
I would love to, and maybe we won't do it today. I don't have it planned. It's just I show you a poster for a show, and you have to tell me what network it was on based on how that poster looks.
Can we
the
please do
Suits
that?
poster looks like USA.
Yeah.
It sure does. It gives you exactly what that network was.
USA is to Showtime what FX is to HBO. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. I appreciate that SAT question.
Yeah.
And I understand it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about those. And AMC, Cinemax,
And I feel like
as
AMC
in like 2009
stars,
was the
maybe.
peaks. Stars, yeah.
AMC stars.
I just and I know FX is actually
Or
literally
you could
Hulu
debate
now.
AMC HBO.
You could,
because
especially
of
the
Breaking
peaks.
Bad.
Yeah, the
And
Breaking Bad Mad Men were on back to back.
We were really close to that HBO experience.
Yeah, but FX half hour HBO, AMC hour HBO.
Yeah. That checks out.
FX is really pumping out, or at least they were all those like good half hour shows.
They
And
sure
I'm not
were.
sure how long any shows are anymore. Honestly, I don't even think.
It doesn't even matter. Like I feel like now there's like
Although
hour-long
Shogun,
comedies.
I'm watching Shogun.
I have watched.
Oh my god,
It's enjoyable.
it's scratching the Game of Thrones itch that
It
I
sure
didn't think
is.
anything could.
I have one note. That guy's voice.
Oh, dude.
That guy's voice. The Tom Hardy like.
Oh, I call him
carbon
Tom
copy.
Hardley in the show. I'm like,
Have you
guys,
seen it?
No.
You guys couldn't afford Tom Hardy or the Walking Dead guy, so
Correct.
we just got the middle of the Venn diagram.
But he is giving me like acting class 203. And I really need him to just scale it back just a little bit because everyone else on the show is exquisite.
yeah,
Like those actors
historically
are
scaled back people. They are reeling it in as a society
Yeah.
in the show.
Sure are.
It is incredible though,
It's
and
really
I've really
beautiful.
liked it. And odd. I mean, I just was. It is, but it's a FX show.
Yes.
and it is weird to watch a show with the pacing of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
With commercial break hits.
Yes.
I watch it
Yes.
without commercials on Hulu.
Yes.
But it'll be like, what do you mean? And
Yep.
like hit a black screen. And I'm
Yep.
like, oh my God, I forgot they do that in television.
Yes. Yes. Fully that.
It's just a complete, it's like
they-
Lost is what it feels like going to a commercial. Like it's going to a commercial break like Lost would.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's so good.
It is really, really enjoyable. It's nice to also just be like, oh, there's some good content that we're looking at that's like fresh and fun and like gives me scratch that Game of Thrones
It does.
itch. Just something interesting that is a little fantasy.
Everyone's
kind of
talking about something and it's not like called like, are you dating your dad accidentally or something?
Okay, or I'm not gonna lie, The Traitors, which I'm thoroughly obsessed
I'm
with.
not sure what that is.
Oh, you guys.
See, but now listeners are so much more excited than about Shogun.
Okay, so The Traitors is a TV show. They have 2 seasons of UK, 2 seasons of Australia, 1 season New Zealand, and 2 American. The American one is hosted by Alan Cumming. And it is basically, have you ever played the game Mafia or Werewolf?
Yeah.
It is that in a television show.
Okay.
And I'm not a reality show human being. And this show, I can't stop watching it.
Okay.
It, especially
All of the regions?
all of the regions are good.
Okay.
Especially the UK ones. Because what happens is it's a bunch of British people who, of course, are all nice to each other. And then they have this thing where there's a round table where you have to figure out who the traitors are, who the murderers are. And when I tell you the gloves come off and they start screaming at each other, and you're like, this is the greatest thing in the world. But it's not that reality thing where like it's, clearly people are trying to be famous. Oh,
It's
no,
not
no.
like Love is Blind where you're like, I think you're
No.
on here for Instagram.
Exactly. And especially this last season of Love is Blind, which I watched, is like uncomfortable. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like reality, and I'm only talking about reality.
No, it's
Kill
more
me.
like season 1, 2 Love is Blind or like season 16 Kardashians. It's not like seasons 8 through 14 of Survivor.
Kill me. Literally, I am a horrible person. Anyway, I highly recommend watching The Traitors because it is just, you're just watching human beings go after each other.
It's so funny I would call them reality game show.
It is a game show.
Like it feels like Taskmaster, where they're like, all right, there's one here. Let's get the 4 main white countries to do it. They'll do like the New Zealand, Australia, America reboots of the British game show, or like the, because isn't that I think Taskmaster was British to start. Here, I'm gonna ask Jake if he knows if Taskmaster is British.
Yes,
was it
is British
originally, right?
Oh,
yeah.
And I know people who really rule. Our mutual friends, Will Weldon and Diego McCaffrey, love this show.
Yeah, Will and Diego got me into it,
and they will always. These are people.
Is this something I have to watch?
Taskmaster is sort of like a bunch of comedians doing weird little games.
Oh, I have heard about this show, and people said it's really great.
And people will love, like, they'll be like, well, the British one's really great, and 4 people on the New Zealand one is great, and the American one sucks.
Well, thankfully, the American one, it doesn't suck because Alan Cumming is the host.
Great.
And the British host is this woman who is just like, has this like dark eyeliner, and she's got this like black, like crazy hair. And she's so fucking dry. It's like everything you need from British people. And it is truly enjoyable, I have to say.
Okay.
Traitors. The Traitors. It's on Peacock.
The Traitors. Ooh. Well, I know
all of it.
If you guys still have Peacock from that football game, I just read that everyone signed up to watch. They had like one NFL game on Peacock, and then
really?
retained like 85% of the people who signed up for it. And I'm like, this is a dangerous precedent. If live events become like one-offs on a streaming service, that get you stuck on there for a long time,
and then you forget that you have it. To be quite honest with you,
which is what they knew would happen.
That is exactly what they knew would happen.
Very smart though. They did the Chiefs game, so I think they. Got a bunch of Swifty parent credit cards on there.
That is what it is,
you know
isn't
what I mean?
it?
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to get a huge audience.
Yep, that's right.
I like game reality shows.
That's what this is.
Reality dating I can't do.
It's rough.
And regular reality.
No, thank you.
I don't even know if they really exist anymore.
I don't think so. It's mostly dating, but they're like, as I'm watching this Peacock show, they're like, there's a trailer for like Martha's Vineyard's Love Fest. And it's just friends going to Martha's Vineyard. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
I love it. Everything that's ever happened or will happen is a show. And they're just like, what if everywhere was camera? But then you try and explain to like a young I'm not sure how old you are. I keep lumping you in near.
I am turning 40 in a month.
I am 35, and I was putting us in the same like view. You ever explain to someone who's 20 what the real world is? And they're like, but then what do they do? And you're like, nothing.
Nothing.
There is a second hot tub. Some of them become professional wrestlers.
Yes.
Or stand-up comedians. But
that
nothing.
show was,
and it was so popular. They did
popular.
literally. There was no events.
Nope.
There was no. They would like go like work at a coffee shop, or they all had to get jobs. But there was really not like,
which is opposite of any reality.
No one got voted off
never
unless they spit on someone. That guy Puck, I remember one season spit on someone and got kicked off. But there was no competitive element to it, and you can't. Now it's like they made dating like you could win.
They fully did. They really, really did. Oh, it's uncomfortable.
I want a big dating show. I would watch this one. It's like Love is Blind. I guess they meet each other without seeing. Love is Deaf. I don't know if it would play, where you just can't hear each other, and so you have to guess where they're from. But I want one where they have to permanently delete their Instagram to do it.
Yeah.
Are you really looking for love? Let's really actually find out for sure the show. Yeah. And then if you find someone, you have to delete your Instagram.
Oh, please. That's why this current season of Love Island that came out is so uncomfortable, because these people were so clearly trying to be famous and then be like, oh, now I don't have to work anymore because I could just be like, buy these sleep gummies.
I can like sell pills and workout clothes for at least 10 more years.
It is obvious.
People won't even remember what it's from. They'll still just see you selling stuff in 8 or 10 years.
That's
like,
right.
Bachelor?
I also have a question for the world. When were you on Instagram and saw someone be like hawking out some pills, being like, you know what I need to buy? Those fucking pills.
I really think it's all a pyramid scheme. Yes. I think that, like, let's say someone who's on like someone who is the Bachelor probably gets a pretty huge following, and their marriage doesn't work out, you know.
Never.
And that person sells pills to 10 guys who want to be the Bachelor. So the top person has 1 million, sells them to 10 buff guys who have 80,000 followers each, who then try and hawk or build up a thing to sell to their people with 800 followers, and then they're just like 10. I think it's just about it's like trickle down pyramid scheme stuff. Yeah. But I don't know if anyone's. I think a lot of people are buying them to also present them like they're sponsored selling them.
I think to be like, look at me, I'm cool enough to have sponsored
Yeah.
content.
And I think it is all.
It is a pyramid scheme. You're
Yeah.
right.
I don't. If someone, people sometimes tell me what the ads are like for this show. Since we got off a network, I don't like read ads for things anymore. The robots just put them in, and people are like, "You had 3 lip filler ads this week," and I'm like, "Okay." Like honestly, that's crazy to me on a movie podcast for anything.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hey, at least that means I have like a nice gender diverse audience that the robot sees or something like that.
I guess that's true.
Bunch of thin-lipped listeners out there. They know that.
It is a lot of Midwestern women. And
Yes. And I'm talking directly to you.
And then I don't know. I just anything but banks, and I'm okay about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do. I am always. I've known people who've been on Bachelor, Bachelorettes, all these various shows. Person I've done comedy with was on this Circle, which I've never even heard of.
Oh yeah, this one I
my
can't.
cousin was on Deal or No Deal Island.
Oh, with Joe Mantello as the host.
Yes.
And they also hawk that on the Peacock app right now.
If you started tuning in episode 2, you may have missed my cousin because
Oh.
he was the first
didn't make a
person.
deal.
No, he's too normal of a fucking person. An
see.
old woman fell in a pit of mud, and my cousin Branson went and helped her, and everyone was like, "We got to vote this guy off," and they voted him off.
Branson.
And I'm just like, well, Branson, this is you, but he's not built for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that just means
no,
you're not
no,
built
no,
for a
no.
reality show if you
No.
help an old lady out of a mud pit.
No.
Wow, we got to talk about Suits.
Yes, Suits. So this really is about Suits.
What?
Okay.
Oh, because we got on this whole thing with the analogies about networks.
Yes, that's where this
Suits
came.
was originally on
USA.
and was popular.
Meghan Markle was on the show famously.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Speaking of Deal or No Deal.
Uh-huh.
And what a career arc.
Oh my God! What truly like what who would have guessed?
I'm blown away picturing her submitting SAG dues.
Oh God! Well, she's gotta. She's still
You're
gotta
gonna
do
lose
it.
that insurance living in
girl.
any various country you don't own anymore.
My friend was her prom date.
Really?
Yes. Wow. That's why literally it's like, what's going on?
world.
But like, hey, live your life.
Yeah.
I've seen more. It just seems like less degrees of separation from her than Kevin Bacon. Than a lot of
Yes,
people, but it's very
especially in Los Angeles. Yes,
yeah, because she
grew
was
up in
just
Pasadena
someone
or something.
grew up here, kind of grinding out, hoping to act here, and then shoots, ladders.
Shoots and ladders. Yep, and she found her way to this man.
Probably worse off than any of the Royals right now, I would say. Sorry, bringing it back to what we were joking about at the beginning. Very rude.
Oh my God, that family! What a treat!
Everyone, I feel so. It's so. All of them are sick, and I'm like, they'll literally be so fine.
Yeah.
I saw that she. You feel bad that someone has cancer, and you're like, I'm literally. My first thought was like, do they have insurance? Well, yes, they do. And I'm not even like because they're like queens and kings, and I'm just like because they're in England.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
like, if you work for them, you have insurance.
That's right.
That was my most jealous about them. I'm like this king who.
Oh, you can do anything you want.
Can you believe the coverage? What is like the. What do you call it? Not the copay, but what do you think his out-of-pocket max is as King of England?
Oh, it probably is 100 pounds.
He's like,
because he's just got that. He's got that Cadillac insurance. That's just like, no, we'll pay for whatever you want, honey.
Just like the receptionist working at the desk, just like has to ask the King of England for a £4 copay for like coming in real quick. That's like, sir, could you hand me 4 pictures of your mom?
Your Majesty, I'm sorry. This is a tap card. This is a tap
then he
card.
just-
You can't. Please, you're gonna have to enter your PIN now. Do you know it?
Oh, tap. Hold it. Tap.
Hold it, tap. Wait. Oh, okay, it's not working. We're gonna have to
The
swipe
King of
it,
England just inserting the chip wrong.
which definitely happens.
He's upset about like a 75-cent fee added on for the debit transactions.
Because it was supposed to be 10 pounds or more on the transaction, but it was 4 pounds, as previously mentioned.
Jake, how do you feel about the royal family? I'm like,
Not a fan.
not a fan.
Okay.
That feels like a pretty popular thing amongst people under like 55.
Correct.
At this point, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think like a lot of people in England don't care that much about like what I'm like blown away by is like how much Americans seem to care. I think
We
more
care.
so than British people. I think
Which is
Yeah.
really the irony of ironies, considering the histories.
Yeah,
they
it's
just like
different
gossip and
thing.
drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
we
mean,
don't have anything like it.
The
'cause our presidents
Kardashians
don't
are
have
like the
this-
closest to this, I would say.
Truly, because our presidential families don't have this kind of drama, that kind of thing. You know, it's different kind of drama.
Yeah. It's
So
I think like it's the under wrapsness, but also it's like maybe like the taxpayer money thing kind of like.
This would be a funny
factor into
time to
where it's
take
like,
their
yeah,
money
well,
from
we
them.
fund it. Yeah.
They all get cancer, and you guys decide to take the money from them
Ooh,
now. You
spicy.
wait 8,000 years, and you're like, actually, now
now's the time to take
we've
away the
decided
cash.
that you should pay for yourselves. And they're like, you know what? Let's expand single payer. I don't know why I liked the Queen, because she was just around so long. I'm sure she's like fundamentally not a person I would agree with on a single thing, but I'm like, look at how long this lady lived. Isn't that crazy?
It's unbelievable.
It's
truly.
like, granted, she never, I don't think, exerted like energy for the last 55 years of her life.
No.
But like, could you? It's anyone who lives that long and is that involved in things. I'm like, that's wild.
Wild.
It's crazy that she's not outwardly just. I'm sure she got people killed, but it's just crazy she's not losing her mind. Maybe she was. I don't know. But I'm like, look at that. You're on money and you're walking around. Wild.
Wild. That's again the fascination.
Is the king
just-
on the money already? How fast does this happen?
Oh, I don't think he's on the money yet.
He might die
maybe.
before he
Yeah.
makes the money.
I honestly think he's gonna
Wow.
die really soon.
He dies before he makes the money, and Meghan Markle's like, I used to see this once a week at work. People got too greedy and died before they were on the money.
Oh well. Too bad.
She's like opening a little briefcase at his funeral. Ooh. They're on the outs. I don't follow it really at all. I got to be honest.
No.
I mean,
I don't.
I just realized, or I didn't even know they were like pretending or hiding someone, and that was a huge deal. And then
You
it
mean
was
the Kate thing?
Yeah, and then it was because she, had cancer, and they were
Yeah,
trying to
she
figure out
did.
how to announce that.
And
But-
some people will say to you, if it's true, which I, bless you for going around in that fucking QAnon rabbit hole. But like yes, they were keeping it very quiet. They're just not good at press.
I think it's funny, and I think this is the hubris of people in power, because to put out a doctored photo and think you'll pull one over on the internet is
crazy.
psychotic. It's
Psychos.
absolutely psychotic. Like, even just the level of insanity people have online is crazy. And there's someone better at what you do for free online.
Correct.
And even if you are the King of England or the press, the people who do the press behind the royal family, there's people better at that than them, at figuring these things out. Like, you know what I mean? The best hackers work for the government, and then slightly better ones probably are keeping those ones employed. And that's, so I'm just like, I saw that way too late, but I'm like, you put out a doctored photo? Are you serious? Like, are you insane?
In this,
We live on TikTok filters.
like we're gonna notice.
They put a photo out of her, and she has like the dog ears and the tongue. And they're like, no, this is normal. This is how it actually was.
No, she was just being playful.
But I was just like, this is someone they've pulled one over on the world for so long, but now we have the internet, and we're all
Now they
talking at the
can't.
same time, and they can't.
They're still doing press like it was 1984.
Yes.
And they're like, this is how press works, and it's like, no, baby.
To be fair, they haven't finished the books. They're not sure who's the good or bad guy yet. They're like, okay, on one account, this is cool to have computers,
Yeah, well, it's kind of nice.
and it looks like it brings a couple together. I'm not going to finish the last chapter. Yeah, I just thought, I'm like, this is insane to think you would fool anyone.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It's
It was
almost
really special, honestly. Just very, very like, of course you did this. Of course you made this mistake, Looney Tunes.
We just spent the last year figuring out how to tell if supercomputers could fool us, and they can't. And then they were like, what about CS6? Like, what if I had Adobe Photoshop CS6? And do you think that could fool everyone?
Do you guys remember Print Shop Deluxe?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they were using.
That's what they like to. That was the first thing I remember where I was like, PNG file. I'm like, what is the difference? Well, that'll never come up. Little did I know how big of that part will be in my fucking life.
Yep.
But man, that is the rich. They thought they could fool absolutely everybody. And
Oh,
then
they sure did. They were like, we did such a good job. Thanks. You did a good job. Pat back, pat
Yeah.
back. And they just like went to go have tea and biscuits.
Yeah.
Send it out. Oop.
No
And everyone
one
was like, whoop.
will notice.
No one
First
will
person who
see.
saw it was like, well, this is
This
fake.
is fake.
Like I'm not
fake.
crazy, right? And there's something about the conspiracy theories that are very obvious. Epstein, which is a much more extreme example than this, obviously. But you know, like where it's like no one in the world thinks he committed suicide.
Nobody.
This where they were like, this is a real photo. These things that I think, unfortunately, keep the I'm so far down the flat Earth, QAnon, everyone's a lizard people like in the world and the fringes of acceptability because they'll be like, see,
we told you,
and you're like, well, yeah, that's the it's like I think like old school conspiracy theorists have been unfortunately butted out by like what is so insane now. I imagine that's the revolt I need, where people are like, yeah, we went to the moon, but something happened with Kennedy. Like they want to be like, can we get this back to like a rationale place? But this is keeping those people in sort of like, if they're correct about that picture of her, which
then
they
they
very
must
obviously
be
were,
correct about
lizards.
Lizards.
Everyone's a lizard
people.
or something like that.
Which
we feel like we've been talking. You peel it back. I feel like we've been talking around Suits.
yeah, we have we literally been trying to talk about Suits forever.
But
anyway,
I don't know what it's about.
I've never seen the show. I just have seen a lot of imagery for it because of how popular it was when I first moved here. Then it became popular again a few weeks ago, and everyone was talking about how like the Suits writers aren't making any money, strike, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. But first let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna do this. Get in the script.
We're at 31 minutes.
31 minutes.
Wow.
Some of that will be lost. The
Yes.
part where I insult disabled people will
Yes.
be.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. We're talking about Suits, actually. That's my romantic comedy, Suits, actually. Where he just holds up a sign, but it's just a stock ticker going down. What fascinates me about this show is it over and done? Does anyone know that?
Allegedly, they're making a movie.
Right, but I think the movie's probably spawned by the success and not by the actual story.
Correct.
I don't think it. I think they finished on television and then time went by. I don't know.
Literal 500 question marks.
There's no way to know because my computer's closed and I'm not using my thumbprint.
This is what I'll tell you when I looked on Wikipedia when I had to write when I took care of this homework assignment. It basically was like high-powered lawyer Harvey works in crazy New York law firm. This other lawyer comes in who has a photographic memory to help them win cases. They keep it a secret. That's it. I still don't understand what that show is. Do you know what I mean? Like it's still you're still not giving me a real. It's obviously a procedural. So every week we're gonna solve a case. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like it's enough details to make me know less.
Yes,
because it wasn't just like the high-powered business in New York, the show. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, I could kind of fill in some stuff. But this is like, we gave you enough specifics where I feel further away.
Exactly that. So I present to you now this version of it. I, for some reason, I thought it took place, even though this is very not clear. I thought this was just taking place in the 1940s whodunit mystery. Okay.
Okay. And then you cast it however you'd like.
Okay, so why don't you be Michael?
Okay.
I'll be Rebecca and you be Harvey.
Great. And then is there anything else you want to preface going in?
No, just know that this is just what happens. This is just what happens when you hear the word Suits, and then you just start thinking, oh, was this supposed to take place in the mid-1900s?
It is crazy it took this long for this to be the name of a show.
It is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could have been whatever.
It's like
really.
You see a new band now called like The Hats, and you're like, no one was that yet? Nope. You check MySpace and everything.
Suits.
Okay. Awesome. Whenever you're ready.
And I'll read the little stage directions too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and these are in case you want to.
Any kind of okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you. I mean, I really just love this little woman right here. She's wonderful. Okay, so interior Harvey's New York apartment. Grunts, gnarls, heavy breathing. We're close on Harvey's twisted face. In nothing but a white button-down, he unclenches and Rebecca, 27, hot and dumb, seamstress turned paralegal, stands. I'm sorry, Harvey. Your waist is 36. It is what it is.
Shut it, Rebs. I've been a workout guy since before you were born. I can't be going soft.
Listen, Hobbs, I'm doing it right. I promise. I went to Seamstress Academy before I got my GED and then aced my LSATs with a 180.73. I know things, and I won't have a man tell me what's what.
Hey, Toots. A lawyer has to law and a suit girl has to suit. So get suiting and make this Brunello coochie fit, or I'll lose my case and you'll lose your sugar daddy.
Oh, Hobbs, you're horrible. They start to make out. Knock at the door.
Fiddlesticks. It's Michael. Hold these pins and don't mention my issues around the waist. I gotta keep my power, and thin suits is all I got.
Harvey opens the door and in runs Michael.
Oh, boss, you never believe it.
Slow down, Skipper. This ain't the USS Power Shaft.
That's what she said.
What?
Well, you said power shaft, and it made me think of that one time last Christmas in Montauk.
Listen here, we got bigger fish to fry. The office is topsy-turvy, I tell you. We need you in there right now, Harvey. Everyone is going mad. Mr. Litt was about to fire everyone for, what did he call it? Lackluster suiting.
Oh, Louis just uptight because the change of the season. New York is a hell of a town, but in the summer it gets nasty. And suit cleaning ain't cheap.
You're telling me. Well, it was just last fall when Janice was running out down the hall with 4 pairs of scissors and 2 cups of coffee.
Stop it, please, Harvey. Litt said if we don't suit up and suit out for the big trail next week, we're toast.
All right, Michael. Why don't we fix you a quick gin and Ricky to calm those nerves? You're hotter than a depot stove.
Rebecca and Harvey walk over to Michael and bring him to the couch. Oh, yeah, Michael, you're burning up. Why, it reminds me of my great-aunt Jessup Smythe. No, that's a good thing. Oh, she was a hot-headed broad who loved to slap sense into anyone who'd listen. Why, it was my own mother.
Cool it, Rebs. The boy needs some air. What is this? The Jackie Mason special? Clean up those threads and get the man a cocktail.
Rebecca giggles and runs over to fix Michael his drink.
Harvey, I've never seen Litt so furious. He started throwing anything he could get his hands on. Boxes, staplers, Janice. All because of suits.
Well, you can't blame the man. Janice is a waste. And Louis' whole life is suits. That's what won us our first suit. It was a suit.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading about that in school. It's the reason I got into law in the first place. Old Sears didn't know what hit him with you and Litton on their tails.
Ain't it the truth? What a world. Say, what did your special photographic memory see on this trial? Are we going to win, regardless of our fine vestments?
Michael squeezes his eyes tight. His photographic memory was a secret weapon for the office.
It's not clear yet.
Try harder.
You gotta try harder, Michael, please. I can't keep taking in Harvey's suits. My fingers are bleeding something awful.
Quiet and know your place. Jeez.
Michael keeps focusing, then passes out. Oh, Michael!
This is all your fault with your talking and your stories. What am I going to do with a lady like you, huh?
Rebecca runs to the chaise lounge and cries, oh, but sometimes I just gotta get the thoughts out of my head or I'll burst.
Damn it. What's a guy to do now?
Michael wakes up fast and jumps to his feet.
Good Lord, man.
Oh, I saw it. And we got our work cut out for us.
Hamburger! That's Suits. That's the show.
I could see why it came back.
See?
And I was playing the Meghan Markle character?
Of course you were.
Yeah, okay,
yeah, of course you were.
I think I said Lewis and Louie. I think I alternated every time.
I don't know. Actually, because I don't know, but that's the actual name of the guy. Like Louis Litt. That's the character name. He's like the older, I don't fucking know, because I just looked at the character names.
Sure. Wow.
Rebecca's not a real one, but the other two are.
Doesn't it feel too popular for us to not know more about this?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, it's like TV Avatar. We're like, really? We all watched it? Why do I not know a detail?
I do not know a detail.
I think you probably were pretty close, though.
It feels exactly like what the show would be on USA Network.
It has to be a little soapy, right?
Yes, exactly that.
I think that there's something to people are really excited to watch a show they know was allowed to be on the whole time. Because if you get into a show now, it might get canceled because it's better for taxes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And has no idea whether it's good or bad, or if you like it or don't like it, or if people watch it or don't watch it.
Doesn't matter.
It just might be good for taxes. And I think that people are just afraid, especially younger people are just afraid of shows getting canceled. So they're excited to like find old things that ended. This isn't old at all, but like it ended.
Yeah, it did. And it was 7 seasons, so you have a lot to watch.
Right. It's why I think people are really happy to go back and rewatch like The Sopranos or shows that they know concluded.
Well, let me tell you, I had never seen The Sopranos, and this past summer I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch The Sopranos. And I had the best time in the world.
It's the best thing. It's so good.
It was so much fun. And it's really good.
It is, and I think has like 4 of the funniest moments in the history of television. Like,
Oh, tell me.
Wedged in. I think the funniest thing that I've ever seen on television is Chris Moltisanti high at Tony's mom's wake, describing how there might be another one of her somewhere out there in the world. How could we? He would need a computer. That's like he's like there could be another Livia Soprano somewhere out there in the world. We could find her with computers, and then he just stops talking because he's just high off his ass, and it's his boss's mom. And I think that it's the funniest thing I've ever. When that show is funny, it's incredible.
Oh, it's
and
so
it's
funny.
so good. And I think, but it concludes, and I think people are in love with these shows. Whether or not Suits is, I don't think it's the Sopranos level of quality, or even maybe tried to be, but at least they get to see a story end.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And it's not like, I hear about 80 shows that get canceled every week. And I'm like, I've never heard of these. And people are like, I have a tattoo of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's my personality is this show. And I'm just like, I think that younger people are just so used to everything being cut. And all I want to do is see the fucking movie with the Wile E. Coyote.
That's all I want. I want to see that.
I can't believe
give that to me.
It's done. Just
let us see
show
it.
it. But no, it's better. And the transparency of it's better for taxes is just like, can we guillotine people, or at least
Just
like
because it's better
paint
for
a
taxes?
tunnel on a wall,
Please.
and have them drive their nice car into the tunnel wall
Yes.
and it kills them or something, and then we get the movie.
I would love to create a list of who those people should be.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't keep a hard copy of that.
No, it's in my disappearing notes app.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I think it's why people go back and rewatch Harry Potter a lot, because they get to see a story.
Well,
end.
to bring up the traitors again, it's the reason why it's good.
J.K.
because,
Rowling.
Because
to bring up the traitor of traitors.
she just doubled down this week as well. I'm not even going to get into it.
Is it even doubling down if you prompt it in your own
Dumbledore.
head? It's Dumbledoring down?
Yeah.
It's Dumbledoring down. That's correct.
You've never seen Harry Potter, have you?
No.
You have no idea who Dumbledore
I read the books.
is.
I read the books.
Oh, okay. But the reason the Traitors is so enjoyable, it is a beginning, middle, and end, because the show has to end. You have to watch them figure out who these traitors are, and you're watching this story of them going on the journey of figuring it out. So you're watching like an unscripted tale of like mystery.
Sure.
And yeah, that's why I like.
And it ends.
And it ends.
I'm so absolutely. I don't know, like, shows would get canceled sometimes, but not pretty popular shows wouldn't get canceled. They would get milked when we were growing up. And
That's right.
Lost was on for a long time, and too long, probably.
Do you know that I almost chose that one as writing a thing?
Oh, you
for us?
haven't seen? I love Lost, but there's a lot of filler, and Lost was famously just like ABC was like, we need to make this to where you need to ask new questions every week, and we don't care if you ever answer them. And it was but it was fun.
Yeah.
And I think that like if a show got canceled, it sort of became lore. Like Firefly was a show that was on, a sci-fi show that everyone was very into, that got canceled after one season, and now people still talk about it.
Yeah,
and it was like
people love that show.
because people loved it. But there's 20 of those a week from Netflix where they're like, we made 9 episodes of a show, 1 million people fell in love with, but we don't want to re-up a contract with an actor because they got popular online and it would cost too much now. So we're like canceling a story. So I think people are just like, what's something that's over?
Yes.
I can get on Netflix and watch all of Suits, and I think that's where it popped back up and got a lot of popularity. Or like I can get on here and watch the whole of this show, and I think a lot of people just wait to see if a thing gets to end before they actually commit to it or whatever.
I have a bunch of friends who are like, I'm not even going to start that until I know the season is fully available so I can watch it and it has like a completion.
Something, yeah. And I'm even afraid to like, well, I mean, I don't really watch too many new shows, I guess. Shogun. I would be like very bummed out if that got canceled in between the 2 seasons.
But wait until they pull some bullshit like that, because they're going to be like, it's so expensive.
Right.
And you're like, go fuck yourself.
Right. Even we can actually do a tax write-off of the sets we built if we do this XYZ. I like to think Hulu would be better.
Yeah, oh, look right into the camera
With
and say
your
that.
green
Make sure
icon. That's a red icon move. Or like, I don't know. It would be crazy to me. I don't know how many Dunes there's going to be. 4 probably. I think there's 4 books.
There's these 2, and then he's doing, I think, one more, Dennis.
Yeah.
Or is it Denis?
Denis Villeneuve. Yeah.
Sorry, French people.
That's okay. They can't figure out apps. It's hard to navigate
that's
an app.
and then there's
going to
be a TV show about the Bene Gesserit that's coming out.
I love Dune 2 so much.
I
went
really
to the
loved
movie
it.
theater and
Did
I was
you like it?
No, I didn't see it. I saw the first Dune and I hated it.
You did? Yeah. Okay.
I get that. This one's better than the first one in by like
I liked them
tenfold,
both.
but I liked the first one.
I liked them both.
But I saw this in movie theaters and I was just like, can we get the sound in it was so cool.
So cool.
I was just like, I'm like shake. I saw it in row D of the IMAX, which was all that was available
wow.
still for this movie. So I'm like looking,
yeah,
I'm like,
people are still
okay,
loving
I'm
it.
watching the movie over there now. Oh, Batista's over here now. And I'm
Yes.
like, and I liked that so much. But if they were like, okay, well, we're actually done after this one, I'd just be like, fucking please. Please tell me a whole story. Please finish a whole TV show. And I think that's why Suits got popular.
I wouldn't be
It's like
surprised.
kind of a little soapy or a little
Yes.
melodramatic-y. I always thought of it in the way that like the OC was where I'm like, well, this is real as in quotes, but it's a
Yes.
soap opera. The OC
Yeah.
is a soap opera.
Yeah, I mean, you could this is Grey's Anatomy is a soap opera.
Yeah.
Like any of those kind of shows, they're all soap operas. They're just like better versions of it.
Yeah.
or like better writing with a little bit better acting.
Or at least like, better like one camera.
Yes, instead of like they're going to shoot 25 episodes in a week,
Yeah.
they're going to do just one a week. But and people really fucking love that format. They love kind of just being able to look at it, move on, etc.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
binge a little melodramatic fun thing that's not too.
Have you guys seen the TV? Speaking of crazy, have you guys seen the TV show 911?
No.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
My guys,
I call
this
that
fucking
the
shit
the
is
ECU,
insane.
which is the Earth Cinematic Universe.
Literally.
Which like shows like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, 911.
But this one, in the current season, there is a cruise ship that Angela Bassett and Peter Krause are on their honeymoon on this cruise ship, and it capsizes. So the ship is upside down, and they're walking on the ceilings inside the cruise ship as it's in the water in the middle of a hurricane. And this is
Wouldn't you
you're
feel
laughing because you're like, this can't.
Wouldn't
be
you
real.
feel
It is
psychotic
real.
calling 911 if that happened?
That's and it's all about those
Like,
responders.
Is there like a 912 I can call for like I need you even more than 911
What?
could possibly convey?
Yep, that's correct.
Like if you call like just 9,
Just nine.
just something
Just something.
wild. You're like 911, what's your emergency? You're like, can you put me on speaker?
This is banana pants. But this show,
so
people,
crazy.
it's now just renewed for its 8th season, and this kind of shit happens on the show all the time. Like this insane shit.
Yeah.
I think
and people
that-
are just like, I'm in.
Is each season of the show a different emergency or anything
I have
like
n-
this?
I do not-
Is each episode a different thing?
No, it all kind like a few episodes because they were on this cruise ship for several episodes. It is weird.
Yeah, but people, I don't know, there's something nice. At least once something knows what it's doing. This is like actually one of my life things, and I attribute it mostly to restaurants.
Okay.
If you know what you're doing, please do that. Ram that into the ground.
Ram it into the ground. Yeah, okay.
The success of In-N-Out Burger is not because any of it's great.
No, they just do what
They
they
do the burger exactly the same.
Yeah, they do what they
It's
do.
all they do.
Yep.
The fries are good for 7 seconds. 8
7.
seconds in, they become literally trash.
Yep.
But no one cares because you know exactly what you get. They do that. There's not a second page to any of it. Leave the pages to the Cheesecake Factory because that's what they do well, is have 90 pages of
is
a thing
have-
that's hilarious.
Correct.
But everywhere else, if I go to a restaurant and it's like, if you have like fish and a cheeseburger and I'm like, what do you do then? Like, what is your thing then? But that you see all these like, what are they, like smash burger places popping up because they just do one thing.
Yep.
Just do that thing and just keep doing that thing. And if a show like 911 is like, we are psychotic,
Psychos.
do that thing. Although maybe Marvel's the exception. Maybe change it up. Maybe you guys have made 482 smash burgers and we're full.
And we're very
But I'm
full.
just like, just kind of do the thing, and people are excited for that from you, and stick to
a
that.
great example of this Suits show, I guess, because they kept their
Law and
thing.
Order?
Law and Order. Wow.
Every
Wow,
time
wow,
they change it up, I don't even watch Law and Order, but when they change it up, I hear about it. That's how pissed off people get.
They sure do.
Who's the main guy from SVU who crossed over to
Chris Maloney?
Chris Maloney.
God, he's
who
so hot.
it's like crazy. His body he's like professional, the only professional wrestler in real life.
He is so attractive. It hurts my body when I look at him.
And he went over to a different Law and Order, and
He
everyone
did?
like Law and Order Organized Crime Unit.
Oh.
And everyone got really mad, and then Law and Order crossed them over,
Crossed
and
over
so
the crossover.
he's in both of them. And so like then
Wow.
now there's like this, both they are all happening at the same time. And I'm just like, well, see what happens when you change it up. You got to actually try
You're not
it
allowed
writing.
to change. You're not allowed to change these things up, like these like procedural things that
I think
60-plus-year-olds watch every week. You are not allowed to change.
Yeah, ask
them.
Stephen King. I think he wrote a whole book about that. I think Misery was mostly about fans being upset about change.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't think it's that different now. Maybe that was an extreme example
No,
when Kathy Bates is like smashing a guy's legs with a hammer or an axe.
no, that's totally normal to me.
Yeah. But, anyways. Okay. We should play some games.
Okay, good.
I'm like firmly in love with the idea of Suits. I don't know if I could watch something that's 7 seasons. It's hard for me to commit to that.
It's a lot.
But I understand why people like it because they know it won't be ripped out from underneath them. Rather than watching 7 seasons of shows that got canceled, why do I want to keep getting like invested in characters that I know disappear?
Yeah.
And okay, before Dune 2.
Yes. Let's go back
Anya
to it.
Taylor-Joy. If you made me guess how long she was in the movie based on how often I saw her on red carpet events for
You would
Dune
be like,
2,
oh, she's in it a lot.
I would think she was Timothée Chalamet.
Yes. Correct. But her character is going to have some significance in the following stories.
I would hope so.
That's
otherwise
allegedly
this is
the
like the
tale.
most actually insane behavior I've ever seen in my life. Where she was in the red carpet. She was like don't get me wrong, she's incredible. And she is a superstar.
She is a
and
superstar.
she is a A-list actor right now.
Yeah, totally.
But she is in the movie, spoiler alert, 3 seconds.
Yes. Barely.
When I saw the first Dune, I thought that's what they were doing with Zendaya because
Yes.
they had like pushed that she was in it.
More extreme in this one.
Okay.
Even.
And they briefly showed her and I laughed very hard, like her first appearance, and I was like, is that it? Like it kind of made
Yeah.
it seem like that was going to be it. And then she ended up being in a little
And
bit
she
more.
is
A
now
little
the
bit
second
more.
star of
Right.
the movies.
Right.
Yes.
And also so good. I am
She's
just like,
in a- okay,
I've never
she-
I've never seen Euphoria. This is like the most I've seen of her because I don't really consider Spider-Man to be like what I think her proper.
But she
vehicle
still
is.
did a really good job in that movie. I think Zendaya is going to turn into like a Meryl Streep style actor for in the next 20 years or so. She's going to truly astound everybody. I think she's a really amazing,
I was
talented
blown away.
person.
I think there were I was absolutely blown away with how her and Chalamet, who I have on here, talked about how I liked the movie Wonka a lot more
Oh, you
than I
did?
did. I liked it, and I
didn't
thought
see
he
it.
tried really, really hard and was the weakest part. I just don't. It's a different charisma. He's not sad. And I know that Wonka is not supposed to be sad yet. He's not jaded. Like Gene Wilder is just the aura he gives off is so specific.
Yeah.
But I just thought he wasn't quite. He was very optimistic, but still not charismatic enough, I don't think. But in this, I'm just like, you could do this forever. Like Dune, I'm like,
Interesting.
you could be this guy. You can,
Oh,
like,
he could, yes.
You can like Brood and Messiah and all these things. I thought all of the younger people really held it so well with like the older actors who are
Florence was very good in this.
very good. My only gripe with Dune 2 is that it is impossible to take Christopher Walken seriously anymore, and it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. But he shows up, I'm like, are you gonna pull a watch out your ass? Like what's
Yeah.
happening? Like he shows up, and I think unfortunately because there's the
he's an
impressions of
entity.
him and like the cowbell thing and just now he makes fun of himself a lot now.
sure does.
And he's not in serious things very often anymore. And then to show up as God of Dune is
Yes.
a difficult role for me to accept him in.
Yeah, I understand that.
And
I
you're
really
just,
do.
I couldn't see past it. A movie full of the most famous people who exist, and I still couldn't see past it for him. You know,
I get it.
I don't know who else that would be. There's like, have you seen 1917?
Yes.
So the war movie, Sam Mendes.
Yes.
I loved that movie.
I loved that movie.
90% of the way in, he finally makes it. Jake, have you seen 1917 before?
Yeah.
He makes it in, and he's like, you have to go talk to the general. And he goes through the bunkers, and he goes, and the general turns around, and it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, and
I was
then
in the movie theater, and I go, nah. Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
took me out of it.
Yeah, there's
As-
certain people like that where you're like, no, thank you.
It doesn't even matter that they're the best actors. I'm
No.
just like, you can't cameo in a
No,
very
I don't, because then it makes it takes me into like, oh, this is Hollywood, as
Yeah.
opposed to like, oh, I've lost myself
know.
in this story.
I know, and even like Javier Bardem was so funny.
He's so good.
And I loved the way they did comedy in Dune 2 because at no point did it feel like a Marvel quip. It was all
No.
so organic and incredible.
Yes.
And people were laughing a lot.
Yes.
I found it infinitely better than the first one, but I did like the first one a lot.
I liked them both very equally. I'm very. Did you like the first version of Dune? I haven't seen it.
I never saw that.
Okay.
The David Lynch
Yeah, that one.
Dune. I don't think I have either.
People say it's absolutely horrible, and then you'll see other nerds who are like, "It's the greatest."
I don't trust
Nerds, I
Yeah.
get it.
I think they look through rose-colored, Mountain Dew Code Red colored glasses back on their childhood.
Yeah, fully.
And I'm just like, there's this whole like revitalization of the prequels, the Star Wars, where everyone's like, actually, they're all great. And I'm like, I'm not going to trust you anymore because the first two aren't. There's good fighting in one of them. Like,
Which one are you talking about?
Like, the Phantom Menace has very good fighting in it.
Oh, we're talking about those movies.
And so people are like, actually, that one in what's the second one called?
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars or Attack of the
What
Clones.
is it? I don't fucking know.
But people are like those
Multiplicity?
synchronicity. People are just like those are great.
Serendipity.
Actually. My favorite Star Wars movie is Adaptation. But I mean that if Walken's character had been like Nicolas Cage, I would have been taken out. There's like a few people that I'm like, unfortunately for you,
you can't put
being
Nicolas
in the movie
Cage in a
has to be
movie.
a thing.
You can't put Nicolas Cage in a movie and not be like fully sucked out.
That's why he worked in Dream Scenario so well.
I didn't see it.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
But he is so great because it's about everyone. He starts showing up in everyone's dreams.
Oh,
And he plays-
yes, I heard about this
It's
one.
such
Yes,
a great
yes,
premise.
yes.
And then
Okay.
you just like Nicolas Cage brings this extra. Well, we all kind of talk about this guy behind his back all the time, anyways.
Yeah, that's right. We sure do.
Sort of thing to it.
Yeah.
It brought. I know that you saw and didn't love The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Part of it.
It brought, he brought that same thing. It worked in this the way I don't. I also agree it didn't work in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where he was actually playing himself.
Okay.
Anyways, Dune ruled. The sound ruled. I felt like
Sound.
I was at. I'd never been to Universal or Disney or anything, but I felt like I was on one of those.
It does feel like you're on a ride at times.
Couldn't
yes.
believe how good the action was. Couldn't believe that I didn't laugh at someone riding a worm.
Some of this exactly. Some of the CGI is so good. You're like, was this practical?
Guess what cost 3 times as much as that? I'll give you a hint. Every Marvel movie since 2020.
Wait, really?
It cost them $120 million to make Dune.
Oh my God.
Really?
That's like how much Step Brothers cost.
Stop! Stop! You shut up.
It's absurd. It cost $400 million to make Dial of Destiny, the Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, the
It
one
cost
that Phoebe
100 and-
Waller-Bridge did.
Yeah. It cost
$400
$400
million?
million. It cost $120 million to make Dune.
Sand is free. I mean,
Sand is free. That's very true.
He's just at Venice, like stealing it from the Barbie shoot. But I'm like, it cost $120 million, and I'm just like, there's no more excuses for these big movies.
No.
This cost. Give them the full reins, and if it's good, it's good. If it sucks, it sucks. But it costs so little relative to how much.
you
this
look
costs.
at some of the. I'm sure our friends and whatever who were making small movies all the time, and they're like, "Yeah, I made this for like $100,000," and you're like, "You made that for $100,000?"
Yeah.
Like, just let people try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's like you can credit card your way through a movie and figure it out later. I mean, he didn't. Shar's made a movie, and I'm sure it wasn't $500,000.
No.
subtract 2 zeros from that.
Wow.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
everyone had a student crew, and everyone
Yeah.
donated their time. And
But you
effort.
watch,
Yeah.
like, I see it, and I've seen it in a theater, and it doesn't feel different. I mean, it feels different than Dune, obviously,
I would fucking hope so.
but it doesn't feel it doesn't feel amateuristic at all, and production doesn't or anything like that. I just don't know where it's going. When I watch, like,
Well, it's waste. I feel like it's just like somebody's getting super rich off of it, and it's not the right people getting super rich off of it. To be honest, I'm assuming.
you're telling me the Weinstein Group is not the right people to get super rich?
No. That's what I'm talking about. I think that they should have a lot.
Do you know how
of money.
expensive walkers are?
Yeah.
He actually
they
lined up
deserve
to
it.
talk to me after my show the other day. He said,
He's like, hey, I got a pitch for something. What if I came on your show?
I don't know, man. You need 2 tennis balls.
Wow.
Yeah, I looked up, I just was curious and looked up how much Dune was because I was like, this could have
Wow.
cost $1 billion, and I would believe it.
Yeah. Well,
And-
how much did Barbie cost? And Oppenheimer's.
I'm probably a lot on the acting. Oppenheimer, like every single person was famous in the
Every
movie.
single person was famous in that movie. Did you like Oppenheimer?
Didn't see it.
Okay. I had a lot of feelings. You're like, oh, this was a good American-made movie.
$145 million for Barbie.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
I will say, also well spent. Because the set design on Barbie
It was incredible.
was one of the most singular things I've ever seen in a movie.
I agree. It was one of the things I liked the most about that movie. I have a lot of other problems with that film,
Yeah.
but the production design and the costume design, I was like, wow, you guys got that right.
If I look at like best director and I think about vision execution and singular vision execution, I'm like, who else does this? Who else makes a movie that looks this specific?
Yeah.
And
I see what you mean.
If you switch roles, if you plug someone else in there, it's probably nothing like this. But I
No.
thought the visually that movie, that's $145 million well spent, especially when Gosling and Margot are probably 50 of that.
Probably.
And
I wouldn't be surprised if Margot was like, I'm going to bring my fee back in the back end because she just wanted to make it.
I think I saw she was the
guarantee it.
highest paid actor in the world last year because of that movie.
Bless.
Yeah.
She was
the titular.
She
yeah.
was the most impressive thing of that movie was her for me because her subtlety of being that doll was in every fiber of her being.
Like if you think it's
was
hard to
crazy
play
to me.
Lincoln because we all have heard of him,
And I think
Barbie
it's
is
harder
a
to
more
play
extreme
Barbie.
version of that because not only has everyone seen it, touched it, owned it,
But you didn't
projected
see-
onto
well,
it.
This is the other fun thing. You didn't see her going around being like, well, my process for being Barbie. You just saw her like go around and be like, oh, I'm fucking Barbie.
She like gets a tattoo of like the like periodic table code to build plastic like on her arm or something.
She was not pretentious about what she did with that, but yet she still gave you a performance
Yeah.
as big as those other fucking idiots who were like, well, I worked hard on
Yeah.
the understanding of where that came
I
from.
think a lot about Brian Cox talking about Jeremy Strong as
all the
Kendall
time.
in Succession.
All the time.
Where he is like, I can't argue the performance, but it's close. Like he's like saying he's close to being able to like be like it wasn't good enough for how he behaved. But he's just like, he was so good that like I can't argue. Because I do think Jeremy Strong in that last season of Succession is like that's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen
you
in
anything
anything
guys,
in my life.
he was amazing in that
And
show.
but it's so funny to hear Brian Cox be like, it was pretty close to not being good enough for how he acted.
Almost not worth it.
Like he was just good enough for
There's
me to
just a
not like
world-
slap him.
I'm not in the space, and this is why I have a problem with this guy from Shogun because I think he's pulling that shit. You can see it. You're like, don't play method actor.
He's
in this
really
shit.
acting.
He is acting, and I'm just like, we don't have the space for that anymore. I don't think that I'm not into that kind of style of
Yeah.
television and film because I'm like, it takes me out of it because I'm like, oh, so you're just a full asshole.
I'm not.
You're just.
Yeah. And Brian Cox was also very great.
Incredible.
One of
He
the
just said words.
funniest things that I can possibly think of. Succession is such a revelation of a show, and Brian Cox, spoiler alert, dies in the last season of the show. And then the week after his character is killed off on the show, the commercials he starts doing for McDonald's come out. And it's Brian Cox going, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. As like it's a very famous voice of the guy who we just yelled fuck off at his kids
let me
for
tell
7
you,
years.
I sat there going, do I want McDonald's now?
But this is
because
someone
I was
who-
like, thank you for that choice.
scared not to get
That's
it.
a British actor.
I don't wanna get yelled
He's
at.
like, no, I'm on my new role.
Yeah.
The second he's done, I'm not the Succession guy anymore. I'm the McDonald's
now
guy.
I'm the
I'm
McDonald's
acting.
guy.
I'm literally punching in and out and
Do you
making
know
money
he's
to hang out
probably
with my
making
wife.
more money on the McDonald's thing than he did in Succession.
Oh yeah, I would definitely see that. There's
Oh, yeah.
extra value in that.
That was a funny joke.
All right, we need to play the games we got on the podcast here
All
today.
right.
Real quick, and then
we'll let these
what
people
are we,
go.
What are we looking at?
We're at an hour, 3 minutes.
Okay,
Wow. Sorry, I talk a lot.
there might be a McDonald's ad in this one. I mean, that's such a professional move, and he's always been like that. But that's like, I'm done with Succession. He's glad to talk about it.
Yeah.
But in no part of it does he want you to go up to him and call him Logan or
No.
anything like that. He doesn't live in that world.
No, he doesn't,
He
and
wants
I
to live his
respect that a
regular
lot.
human life.
This
And-
is also something about the British, the way they approach the work. They also don't pull this crazy method bullshit like a lot of Americans do. Like they come on and they do their work. The camera says cut, and they're like, "So tomorrow we're gonna go get some ice cream."
Right.
And they just want to work, and it makes me so annoyed because we Americans take it too seriously. I'm like, relax.
Right. It is the most embarrassing profession.
It really is. I'm sorry.
Do you ever
and
just-
as I am one, and I'm just like, why do I have to be so stupid?
I think about it being acting all of the time, and I'm just like, Dune, which once again I bring it back to Dune because I think it is so good. I would be so embarrassed to be on set. No, lift the guy out of the pool.
Yeah.
That's for the movie. I'm a psychotic. That's why I can't like act or direct in anything. Yeah. Get the big guy out of the black goo, and then let the wrestler go over there.
Yes,
the wrestler and Elvis will go over to the big guy in the goo.
In the goo, and it'll be fine.
And it'll be the best scene of the year. And I'm just like, dude, that's insane.
I get it. I understand.
If you pitch me any movie, I can't think of I don't like finishing jokes. I don't think anything is. To me, I have a hard time like capping something is done. I just couldn't fathom any scene ever. I like watch comedies I can kind of get because I'm like, and then you're having fun, but I'm just like, I can't. No one like made fun of Austin Butler on the set of Elvis.
Someone had
like,
to have.
but no one made. Everyone
Another
told Tom
person.
Hanks that's working. Like it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. How do you know? How far into some things do you know they're bad and you still keep making them because you're and I like. People who work on movie sets, these are like fucking pros.
Oh yeah,
Like
well, they're just trying to get that money, honey.
Yeah.
It's Showgirls. I just bring it back. Always bring it back to Showgirls because someone had. You could tell when you're watching that movie. Some people started to clue in. Holy fuck! What the fuck are we doing? And other ones just went harder in and were like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm gonna do this."
You just
you're like,
completely-
"Wow!"
completely committing to making a thing that's serious. I don't know how a musician is like, well, and that's the song, export. Do you know what I mean? Like something like that. And it's like their soul being bared into Logic on their computer or something.
Yes.
It's so hard for me to be that earnest about anything.
I
when I see
understand.
like definitive serious acting, Barbie I think I could get because it's so pretend. But some things I'm just like, this would feel wild.
It does feel wild. Yes, it does.
I've done so little acting, and it's almost always been funny, or like trying to be funny.
This is remember when you said know what you do really well
Yeah.
and do it. Boop.
There we go.
Bring it back around.
And then when I see the most uncomfortable I ever feel is when I'm watching someone acting like they're doing stand up, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's very hard. A lot of my stand-up friends get so mad when they're stand-up in a TV show, and they're like, "That is
I can't
so
watch
wrong."
it. I don't watch any of it. The only good one was when the only like good stand-up I've ever seen in a movie was Joker, and that's only because I knew he was going to blow a dude's head off.
Oh, right.
And I was like, this is the only honest comedian.
Well, they had Chappelle and Nutty Professor basically as Chappelle back in the day. He's,
Oh
like,
yeah,
roasting him. I
that was
remember
funny.
enjoying that.
Actually, that was good. That was funny,
Yeah.
and he's making fun of.
But it's such a tiny piece of that
Professor
movie.
You mean
Clump.
you
Yeah.
didn't enjoy the beginning of Seinfeld every episode when he did a little 2-minute
I haven't watched
set?
Seinfeld.
Nor have I.
Oh, wow! Okay, we're gonna reverse this show, and you guys are
I
gonna
only
write
like-
a scene of Seinfeld, and I'm gonna sit here. And
I like
read
his
it for
work
you.
in Cars.
Wow, you guys both haven't seen Seinfeld?
No, I've seen like the. I remember watching.
Wow.
We watched the Chinese restaurant episode in the Second City sketch class.
Yeah.
I
Oh
remember
wow!
that.
Because some of it is some of it
I'm sure
truly
it's great.
is very funny.
Oh, I
But
bet
he
it's
would do a
hilarious.
stand-up set in some of
Right.
the episodes, like a very because he was a stand-up, and it wasn't bad because that is what he does.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about stand up. I like that is so hard for me to watch produced and scripted on scene. The same with like Louis' show. I found sometimes hard to watch, and I was like, you could just do this. I'll understand the show.
Yeah, I don't
You
need
don't
to
have to
see
be
you
like,
do
wouldn't
any
it be crazy
stand-up.
if what's about to happen happened? I'd be like, yeah, I guess, but you
Yeah.
could, Robin Williams is in this. Get to him, or like, so, you know what I mean?
R.I.P. Okay, games.
Games. We'll do one, and then we'll get out of here. I do love Robin Williams so much. Though.
Same.
Like maybe it, but now we can't get to it because now I'm thinking I've like watched this full video of Robin Williams doing the genie in the booth,
It's beautiful.
and
I've
I'm
also
just
seen
like,
it.
if you were next, and you had to come in and do, and don't get me wrong, everyone is good in Aladdin.
Yes, but
But
if you
if
had
you-
to come in and do like the king,
You
the
have
sultan.
to, if you're the producers, you have to put Gilbert Gottfried next as like a buffer before anyone else, because he's doing such a different thing. No
Oh,
one's
yeah.
gonna feel. But it's, I mean, I think that him as the genie this should have won Best Actor, and I really don't care who else there was like in that.
No, I think you're
because
right.
no one else could ever do that.
Watching him do anything is astounding. It is like beautiful. It is beautiful. to
I don't
see.
think I can like shut myself down in the way that he does to like compartmentalize who you are and do that performance in front of people. If you can just YouTube it, but it is like
Oh, I've seen.
there's
watched
no.
it.
It bums me out so much.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
And then Disney effed him over, and that bums me out, and all that crazy stuff. And anyways,
Well,
hope you're doing okay. He came up to me after the show the other night, actually.
Robin Williams?
Yeah, he did. He was like, "I'm dead. Can I buy a sticker?"
And then did you let him buy a sticker?
He couldn't figure out the QR code.
Oh, well,
for
fuck
PayPal.
that. You know what? I don't have, he's canceled. Cancel him.
Cancel Robin Williams. Yeah, man, but it's such a thing. Anyways, he's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe the saddest I've been when a celebrity died.
Him, yeah, I was really sad.
Harris Whittles for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
To the point where like people reached out to me to be like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like
Yeah.
they knew
Oh,
how much I
wow.
fucking loved him. Yeah.
He's so
Oh,
funny.
wow.
Yeah.
So out of, I don't know. It's crazy to be like out of nowhere and then think about it and be like, fuck, it wasn't.
Yep.
Anyways, game. If you ever can see Bobcat Goldthwait, who's very close with Robin Williams, tell this story about Robin Williams. I think we've talked about this because Robin would play Call of Duty in his downtime, like on set or at home or anything. All he would do is sort of like veg out and play Call of Duty.
Okay.
And he was like, Robin was like screaming at a kid over Call of Duty. And then the kid goes, "You sound like the genie from Aladdin." Well, he's like cussing this telling. He's like, "I'm gonna go fuck your mom." He's like the kid. He's like the genie from Aladdin's talking about fucking my mom on Call of Duty.
Amazing.
That is beautiful. Oh my God.
I hope that kid someday saw Bobcat talking about that and could
was
like
like,
put
"That
two
was
and two
me!"
together. Yeah. One game, then we're out of here. This game is called Before and Afters.
Okay.
Get ready to play before and after.
So much like Gattacats, which is our wall sign today, how this works is two movies have been smashed together into one. I will read you the smashed together plot. You have to guess the smashed together movie title. So
Okay.
Gattacats, I don't have that plot written down because I don't know what Gattaca is.
Nor do I.
I don't think anyone
No, I think
does.
it's about like a prison or some shit, isn't it?
Probably.
Gattaca.
I thought it was
That
like
might be
a
Spartacus.
arcade game.
Hey, it could be that.
That's Galaga.
Oh.
Galacats? This is nothing. The whole podcast, nothing. I wouldn't, you know what? Don't even Command S this one. I'm going to install Alt F4. So, Wolf of Wall Street, that's one.
Okay,
what was
okay.
today? Suits? I can't think of any with that.
It's all right. But I understand. I understand the assignment.
Yeah, I really want to come up with one for Suits,
Me
though.
too.
Well, it's just the word, it's just suits. The word suit is so small,
I know.
You can't really have fun with
Suit.
it.
Shoot.
Suits
them up.
You were trying to do Tootsie and
Suitsies?
Suitsies.
Suitsies? There we go.
Suitsies. There
That's
you
going to
go.
be the best one.
Suitsie.
We'll fix that in post to make it look like I came up with it.
Okay. You allow this to happen?
I don't really want credit for that one.
This is where we're both at. The thing I will digitally alter to help me, he would give up for free.
That's wonderful. And that's friendship.
So you can work together. I'll let you know. Char hasn't seen any movies before.
Pretty useless in this.
Dune
Okay,
is probably
me too.
the newest movie I would say he's seen.
Okay.
I did see the J-Lo movie over the weekend.
You did? I have a lot to say. Keep going.
What movie?
The one
This
that
Is
she,
Me
like,
Now?
self-funded.
Oh, it's
I've
fucking
just seen all of the
crazy.
funny press of her talking about eating ham and cheese on rolls and stuff. And
She paid for most of that.
she paid for like all of it. The documentary is wild.
I have to watch that part.
you watched a documentary on it?
There's a
too?
documentary, and then this is an hour-long music video that is the craziest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so out of touch.
But watch that first, and then watch the documentary where you see.
Is it catered
the
by
making of
Duncan?
it. It should be, but no. Ben Affleck is in it though.
I am happy for them because they like seem exactly like they figured it out. You know what I mean? They were like, maybe we both had too high of aspirations for our lives the first time around.
Fully.
And then we sort of realized maybe this was for the best. And he seems like a good like yang to her energy where he is tired.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, he's
And-
tired. He's tired.
And I don't know. She is so. I've seen the promotions for this. I had no idea it was for anything, but wondered why she was very much back up.
she
in my
tried to pull a
vision.
Beyonce, and it really backfired. Literally blew up in her face.
Wild.
Wild.
Okay, maybe I'll watch it. So that you saw that. None of them are referencing that today.
Okay. Then I'm screwed. So.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
I have to quickly run upstairs. I'll be right back.
Is it rolling still? Yeah. All right, we'll just do it. A young boy who dreams of becoming a musician finds himself in the colorful land of the dead, where he must avoid a 500-pound animal that has consumed a lot of blow.
Cocaine Bear's one of them.
Okay. Wow. But you said the land of the dead.
A young boy who dreams of becoming a musician finds himself in the colorful land of the dead, where he must avoid a 500-pound animal that has consumed a lot of blow.
Colorful land of the dead.
Is that like Alice in Wonderland or something?
Maybe, is it like Return to Oz or Labyrinth? But it's a boy. It's a boy. Could you repeat the question?
A young boy who dreams of becoming a musician finds himself in the colorful land of the dead, where he must avoid a 500-pound animal that has consumed a lot of blow.
I'm also bad at movies, so you're really...
These ones are tougher today.
This is tough. Can you use it in a sentence?
The first half is animated.
Oh, it's Coco.
Oh, so Coco Bear?
Coco Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
There we go. The colorful land of the dead, of course, and he's a musician.
Coco's so
okay.
good.
Oh, hold on.
Feels weird with Coco, but okay. No.
Yeah, just call me a racist. It's fine.
Coco's so good.
It's so good. Okay.
Next one. A new patient transferred to a mental institution butts heads with the nurse who runs it with an iron fist, and he tries to escape so he can track down his friend who blacked out and disappeared during his bachelor party.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is part of it.
And then The Hangover.
And The Hangover. One Flew Over the Hangover? Or
where does it connect? There's a
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Hangover.
I will tell you, saying connect is giving this credit. Too much credit. This one is poorly smushed together.
One Flew Over the Hangover Nest?
Or the closest we're getting is One Hangover to the Cuckoo's Nest.
One Hangover to the Cuckoo. That is insane. That is literally insane.
Or 2000 in.
Okay.
They're not all going to be the Wolf of Wall Street.
Honestly, that's
this one's a good
one.
mix. This one's a perfect portmanteau.
Okay.
Colombian cocaine is smuggled into America by an aging clawed mutant.
Is it like Griselda and something?
An aging... Did you say clawed mutant?
Colombian cocaine is smuggled into America by an aging clawed mutant.
What is that? Narcos? This isn't Narcos, is it?
Not a TV show.
Oh, no,
okay.
TV show. That's right.
So
That's
there was Blow was like a movie about cocaine.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, maybe it's Blow, or Traffic. Wasn't Traffic about?
That sounds like it could have been. Yeah.
Was this Traffic? But what's the other part? This mutant.
Wolverine. Is it
An aging clawed mutant.
An aging. Yeah, I feel like it's Wolverine.
Or X-Men, or what I don't know.
Because Logan?
Logan.
That movie was Logan. Where
Logan
he's like,
is the
Logan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Teamwork.
See, I hide that one in there to make you think, get you back in after One Hangover to the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, two more.
Okay.
After a car wreck gives a woman amnesia, she and an aspiring actress fall for a young jazz pianist as they all pursue their dreams.
Oh, well, that's La La Land,
Okay.
right? Is in there. And then the first part about, I don't remember what the first part is. What's that first part again?
After a car wreck gives a woman amnesia, she and an aspiring actress fall for a young jazz pianist as they all pursue their dreams.
I don't remember this movie with the car crash and amnesia.
I'm thinking of like 50 First Dates.
I would
Is
say
that
these
that
are
Drew
all
Barrymore
Los
movie?
Angeles based.
Okay.
Okay.
Memento? I never saw that. I just know it's
No.
about memory.
Yeah, I don't know this first movie.
Me either.
This one's a tough plot to type down. We're looking for Mulholland Drive.
Oh, Mulholland Drive, right?
Isn't that a tough? It's tough because there's also the actress overlap, and you don't know which one that's a plan.
Also, the problem is that I've never seen that Mulholland Drive movie, and I really feel
It's
like
good.
I have to do that.
Yeah, it's good. Mulholland Drive.
Which is a great title.
It's a great.
That is
before
very
and after.
funny.
Yeah.
And our last one, this one was submitted by Awesome Unicorn on the Discord for the podcast. Thank
Great.
you for this, one Awesome Unicorn. The last remnants of humanity now live aboard a train that circles the Earth. I wrote world and earth next to the and said the world, including a brother-sister horse ranching duo who discover a phenomenon hovering in the skies above.
So that second part is nope.
That second part is nope. Yep. The first part, say it again.
The last remnants of humanity now live aboard a train that circles the world.
Orient Express? No. Polar Express? No. I'm gonna list things now. Murder on the Orient Express. Anything.
The last remnants of humanity now live aboard a class-divided train that circles
Wait, is
the
that
world.
Snowpiercer?
Oh, Snope, ear sir.
Snowpiercer is correct. Big win today for everybody.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm surprised I knew any of those films and then I could figure it out. That was really a shocker. I look much cooler than I am.
It's tough because they're any movie ever.
Yeah, I mean,
And when you write a movie plot down, it's like a lot of them.
yes,
I
truly.
blame Hollywood's lack of originality, not you at all.
Thank you. That's all I needed was the validation. And now I feel like I can go on with my life.
But Tom, thanks for being here, and thanks for having never seen Suits.
You're welcome.
And let people know, is there anything you want them to go check out of yours anywhere?
Let's see. There's a play I'm directing in June here in Los Angeles. It's going to be called Psycho Beach Party, and it's Drew Droege is in it, and Sam Pancake and Daniel Gaither and Roz Hernandez, and it's going to be very fun. Co-directing it. It's a Charles Busch play. It's like a spoof on the movie Gidget. Gidget was a movie that was like those beach party movies from the 60s where it'd be like a young girl's on the beach and just wants to meet a
Throw
cool
her in the
guy.
air with the thing at the
Yes.
beginning and all this.
And it's
stuff,
just like a spoof on that.
That's fun.
Is what Charles Busch wrote a play about that. So I'll be doing that coming up soon. That's kind of fun.
That's great. Roz, a friend of the show. You can
Oh,
go
yeah,
listen
love Roz.
to I used to be a ghost hunter. I went on Ghosted and talked about that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
It's so far back. That's like episode 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Great. When is that? It's in June?
In June, here in Los Angeles at the Matrix Theater.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Shar,
you.
is there anything you want to let people know about?
DanielShar.com has stuff for people to read and listen to and watch. Be entertained.
Amazing.
Good.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for listening, everybody at home. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
I've never seen